Hey everyone, I'm new to Reddit, so please bear with me if this is a bit messy. This is my first post. I'm a 26-year-old guy, and I've been with my wife, 24F, for 5 years. We got married in September 2023 and live in Canada. 2 years into our relationship, I discovered some messages between her and another guy, let's call him AP, a fair partner. These messages were NSFW, definitely not the kind of thing anyone in a committed relationship should be sending to someone else. Naturally, this led to a massive argument. She insisted that I was overreacting, that I was reading too much into it, and that I needed to move on from my insecurities. In an effort to work through it, we started couples counseling in mid-2023. During one session, she told me, right in front of the therapist, that I had to let go of my suspicions and trust her. So, I did. I let it go. She has always been adamant about privacy, never sharing her phone passwords and insisting that trust was key. I respected that. But recently, I was out of town when I got a message from her sister asking me if I knew about some guy who was in our home. This wasn't AP, it was someone else entirely. When I called my wife to ask about it, she immediately blew up, screaming that I had no right to question her and that whoever she brought into our home was none of my business. That was the moment everything clicked for me. Something was off, more than I had allowed myself to believe. So, I did some digging. I figured out her phone password and went through her messages. And there it was, conversations between her and AP. They had been seeing each other all along, disguising their meetings as going for coffee. I won't go into the details, but let's just say it was enough for me to be done. I know I haven't been perfect in this relationship. I got too comfortable, too complacent. I put in effort to reconnect with her, to revive our intimacy, but at this point, I'm done trying. Here's where I need advice. AP has a fiancé and a newborn, just 2 months old. I've already reached out to a family law firm to start divorce proceedings, but I'm struggling with when, or if, I should tell his fiancé. She deserves to know, but my wife has no idea that I've uncovered everything yet, and I don't want to blow this up prematurely and risk complicating my own divorce. Any advice on how to handle this would be really appreciated. A few months after the separation, I started noticing something strange. My soon-to-be ex-wife kept reaching out to me, under the guise of needing to talk about logistics. At first, I thought it was just her way of tying up loose ends, bank accounts, apartment lease, whatever. But it quickly became apparent that she had another motive. She wasn't just asking about the divorce, she was probing, trying to gauge if I was still hurt, if there was any chance of reconciliation. I shut that down immediately. I wasn't going to be manipulated into thinking there was anything left to salvage. Not after everything. The hardest part, though, was deciding when to tell AP's fiancé. I debated it for weeks, knowing that once I did, there'd be no going back. I thought about how she deserved the truth, how she had a right to know that the man she was building a future with was betraying her. But I also worried, what if it backfired? What if it somehow complicated my own divorce case? After speaking with my lawyer, I decided to wait until I had more legal footing before reaching out to her. Then, one night, I got a call from an unknown number. I answered, and to my shock, it was AP's fiancé. She was crying. She told me she had found messages on AP's phone, ones eerily similar to what I had discovered months ago. She asked me outright if I knew anything. And in that moment, I had a choice. Lie, stay out of it, and let her piece it together on her own, or tell her everything. I chose the truth. I told her about the messages, about the secret meetings disguised as coffee dates, about how long it had been going on. She didn't scream, didn't get angry, she just thanked me. Then she hung up. A few days later, I heard through the grapevine that she had kicked AP out. Good for her. As for me, life has started to move on. I got my own place, started focusing on work, and even got back into old hobbies I had let slip over the years. I won't lie, some days are still hard. But every day without her deception feels like a step towards something better. One year can't pass soon enough. And when it does, I'll be ready to close this chapter for good. Thanks again for all your support.